Authorities have confirmed that most of the 54 people killed after a truck full of migrants flipped over in southern Mexico were Guatemalans. The accident is one of the deadliest involving migrants in the country in decades. For more on this and other international news, here's Simon Pusey with Around the World in 5.
Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. At least 54 people have been killed and scores more injured after the truck they were being transported in crashed in southern Mexico. Pictures show victims strewn across the road next to the overturned truck. More than 150 people said to be migrants from Central America were crammed into the truck's trailer when it rolled in the state of Chiapas. Some 105 people, 83 men and 22 women, were also injured in the crash. It is one of the worst accidents of its kind in Mexico. The High Court in the UK has ruled that WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange can be extradited from the UK to the US. The US won its appeal against a January UK court ruling that he could not be extradited due to concerns over his mental health. Judges were reassured by US promises to reduce the risk of suicide.
This goes to the fundamentals of press freedom and of democracy.
His fiancée said they intended to appeal.
7 years without charge.
Mr. Assange is wanted in the US over the publication of thousands of classified documents in 2010 and 2011. The United Nations Human Rights Office says Myanmar's military is committing grave violations, including killing 11 people and setting fire to their bodies.
We're appalled by the alarming escalation of grave human rights abuses.
At a Geneva briefing, the body's spokesperson said there was an alarming escalation of human rights abuses in Myanmar. It comes days after democratically elected leader Aung San Suu Kyi was sentenced to a further 4 years in prison. There was no immediate reaction from Myanmar's military rulers to the accusations from the UN. Russia's Ministry of Defense have released a video of what they say were several US and French fighter jets and a refueling aircraft escorted by 3 Russian military aircrafts. The ministry said the jets were approaching Russia's border over the Black Sea. An armed forces spokesman said the French planes were carrying out a NATO observation mission under international regulations. Such interactions are not uncommon, with similar incidents previously happening, but they do come amid tensions between the West and Russia in the region. South African scientists see no sign that the Omicron coronavirus variant is causing more severe illness than its predecessors. Although scientists say more time is needed to arrive at a definite conclusion, the country's health minister said the signs of severity were positive.
In terms of the symptoms, we have...
It has officials announced a plan to roll out vaccine boosters with daily infections approaching an all-time high. Hospital data shows that COVID-19 admissions are now rising sharply in more than half of the country's 9 provinces, but deaths are not rising as dramatically. Ghana is demanding that all adult travellers flying into the country provide proof of full vaccination. Ghanaian citizens and residents abroad are exempt for up to 2 weeks, but will be required to get jabbed upon landing at the airport. The authorities say they are concerned about a surge of infections over the festive period. The measures are some of the strictest in the world. All Ghanaians flying out of the country will also need to show proof of vaccination. French President Emmanuel Macron has welcomed Germany's new Chancellor Olaf Scholz for an inaugural working meeting at the Élysée Presidential Palace in Paris. The 2 most powerful EU leaders will begin the search for common ground to tackle issues within the bloc and beyond. Heading the agenda will be tensions over Ukraine and Macron's priorities for France's 6-month European Union presidency, which starts on January the 1st. A massive waterspout has momentarily appeared off the coast of Austria near Rome. A video uploaded on social media shows the phenomenon, also known as a whirlwind over water, reaching from the surface of the sea into the clouds. Local media reported it lasted for about 15 minutes. Eyewitnesses reported a second minor waterspout shortly afterwards, before strong winds, hail and rain hit the region. And finally, move over reindeer because Santa has a new mode of transport. Father Christmas is now travelling by helicopter, at least in Guatemala. He was visiting children with cancer in Ciudad de Mico. The charity event supports cancer patients from remote villages in Guatemala and provides accommodation for parents as their children receive treatment. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios.